In this video, we're going to talk about how to start networking. This is actually a really funny story about how I came to talk about this topic. I was at Panera, I was about to have a meeting. I meet with this person in the same room, in the same spot every day. So I went and I sat down on my spot. I had some food and I started to eat and I was like typing and I was writing some of our networking curriculum and all of a sudden a whole bunch of people just came in. Like people just kept coming in. I was like, what is happening? Eventually, I saw them all just like huddled around. They were just talking to each other and I was like, I went over and I was like, this has to be a networking event. So I went and asked one of them, I was like, are you doing a networking event? She was like, yeah. And I was like, okay, I have a question for you. I'm creating some networking curriculum right now. What are some things that you would teach people who are trying to learn more about networking? And the three things that they said were, do your research, be curious, and grow where you're planted. So the first talking point that we're going to talk about is do your research. And it's super important to find the right company or person to talk to. When you're networking, it's often a good idea to know what you want the outcome to be from this relationship. So do you want to learn more about science or do you want to learn more about a specific topic? And then research that company or a person that it is a professional in that field. Oftentimes it is easy to find a company that is aligned with what you're trying to look for and then trying to find a person through that company. So if you're passionate about leadership and students, maybe you look up Leaders of Today and then you find one of our contacts, whether it be me or it could be Madison, who's our president, just someone in the company to go and reach out to and say, hey, how do you do this? And then why do you do it? This is a great tool to use to do your community improvement projects. If your project has to do with improving your transportation in your city, maybe you reach out to a leader who is in charge of bus lines in your city or maybe a neighboring city. And a pro tip on this, usually larger organizations or government officials or offices they usually have community liaisons, so reach out to the community liaisons usually to get quicker and faster responses from these people. These people usually, their whole job is to go and meet with you and others like you, constituents or just people who use their products. So reach out to community liaisons because they are usually a great step in continuing the conversation with you. Get to know the person before you meet with them. It's really easy to look somebody up online. So look someone up online and see maybe their resume or what they've done in the past or things that they're passionate about, things that you can continue the conversation with, especially when you get stuck in a conversation. Because there's a lot of times that I'll meet with somebody and it'll be like a quiet moment. I'm like, I can't think of what to ask them next. And so I think back on what did I learn about them before I met with them. A great example of this is just a few weeks ago, I had the opportunity to go and meet with our county treasurer where I live about a possible grant. And she came in and we talked for a while about what our organization does, what we do with the grant and all these things. But at the end of the meeting, she was asking about us and I had some questions about her based on her resume. So I had questions about what she did because she was in the Army, and so I had questions about what she did in the Army and all these different things. And I'm not saying this is the reason that we got the grant, but we did get the grant and it was just a great conversation. I know that I remember her more because of what she told me, and she definitely remembers me more because of the research that I did on her and how curious I was about her past and what she's done. The next topic is grow where you're planted. We all have friends and family who are people that we should know. So just use those people around us to encourage or to build your network. I have a friend whose mom is the former CEO of one of our local malls in Columbus. I also have a friend whose dad is one of the CFOs, the CFO for a major pet company in the United States. And my uncle was also a CFO of a huge organization out of Charlotte, North Carolina. So we all have different people that we can know and learn from. The people that you already know are a great springboard into knowing more people that you think that you should know. And then use the connections that you have and actually email them. Go meet with them. Tell them that your friend is so-and-so and I would like to meet with you just to learn about what you do. Be curious. Go and learn from new people. We all have different skills and talents. Just go and be curious about what people do. People love getting to teach young people about what they do, and great leaders replace themselves. So they are always looking to teach others on what they currently do and things that work, things that don't work. And really just ask questions. Ask the questions that will propel you into the future, because people are really trying to just build up young leaders and encourage them to go and do great things. As an executive director, one of my goals is to fundraise and build our brand. And that's one of my roles as an executive director. But as a person, one of my goals is to go and love people and learn all that I can from the people around me. One of my personal goals is to go and meet with executive directors or CEOs or government officials or just other community leaders every week. That usually doesn't happen. It's usually about every other week. But just to go and learn from these people and what they do and how they do it and why they do the things that they do. During these meetings, I don't ask them to donate to Leaders of Today, or I don't have big asks from our organization. I usually give them a folder about, hey, this is what we do and why we do it. I ask them how they got the position that they are in, what they do when they're not at work, what books are they reading, how can I get to where they are, what is something great that you did, what is something that you wish you would have done differently, what's your favorite part of your job, or what's your least favorite part of your job, what do you do during the day, what are some things that you hold most value in your life, what is the favorite place that you've ever traveled to. Advice for me, my last question is always, who is someone that you know and who is someone that you can connect me with? The key to asking these questions is not just learning from them, but also applying these skills in your life. So if they say something that sticks out to you, take notes on it, take notes, and then really go and use the skills that they taught you in your life. So maybe they told you, this book changed their life. Go and actually read that book. Trust me, it's worth it. Along with running Leaders of Today, I also work at the airport. I work in our airfield maintenance department at our airport in Columbus, which means I get to drive around all the giant snow plows, and I get to drive around giant equipment, pretty much fix anything that's broken on the airfield or outside of the airfield, just like around anything that we own. We install signs or fix things or mow the grass or all the things. A few weeks after I started at the airport, I got to meet with our CEO, and I had a great meeting with him, and it was basically what I talked about earlier, where I just asked him questions about himself and how I can learn from him and what things that I can do to grow. A few weeks later, I had a meeting with one of our HR department leaders, and she said that our CEO was super impressed by me and just the conversations that we had with me, and that he actually wanted to create a position that I could fulfill. In this position, I'm going to be able to go out and work with our community, and I'm super excited about it. I got this opportunity just because I was curious and I was willing to ask to have a meeting with our CEO. So now identify 3 different people that you can write an email to and to learn more about them and their industry.